These are the faces of heroes, healthcare workers from around the world who fought the COVID pandemic. They worked tirelessly to keep their communities healthy, but the virus ultimately took all of their lives.
When my mom got sick, it was hard to just kind of grasp it.
Fiona Garza Tulip lost her mother Isabel to COVID 2 years ago.
I thought, my mom is invincible. She's been through so many crazy illnesses working in the hospital. Like, she's going to get through this.
Fiona's mom was a respiratory therapist at a hospital in Dallas when the pandemic started.
The challenge was she didn't have enough PPE. They were reusing their PPE. They had to turn it in at the end of the day. Someone else was taking it and putting it away.
Fiona believes her mother got COVID from a patient in late June of 2022. A week later, on July 4th, she passed away.
It was really hard to accept. It was really hard to believe. It took me a very, very long time to believe that she was gone.
Gone but not forgotten. That is what the Hero Art Project is trying to make a reality for the first time on display on the National Mall in Washington.
It was just like numbers, and you weren't seeing faces.
Susanna Perlman created the project, a collection of more than 100 portraits so far, a tribute not in numbers, but with faces, names, and stories of just some of the thousands of healthcare workers who died during the pandemic.
We should always honor that. You know, first responders, nurses, doctors, and medical staff who just kept on showing up.
New York artist Lynn St. Clair Foster was one of dozens of artists enlisted for the Hero Art Project. She's worked with a handful of families to capture the essence of their loved ones, including Fiona's mother, Isabel.
There was just such a light in her eyes. She was happy. She was glorious. I mean, you could tell that she really lived a full life in her short life. So that's what I was trying to really capture. There was nothing sad about her.
We were there when Fiona and Lynn met for the first time, and Fiona got to hold this special portrait.
I love it. Oh, wow.
It is exactly the reaction this portrait, all of the portraits, are hoping for. To tell a story, to create a connection, to remember.
So what were you hoping for? What did you want the portrait to capture?
I wanted to capture her spirit. She was full of joy and kindness and love, and I wanted that to be drawn out in this portrait, and I think it was.
You know, you think about the early part of the pandemic, and there were so many healthcare workers who just kept showing up, and nobody knew whether that day was going to be their last day. And so I think this is a really beautiful way to say, hey, you know what? We really need to remember these people.
And I do sort of feel culturally that we've sort of moved on. Like COVID is okay or better than it was, and we can't forget that these people gave their lives.
Absolutely. The Hero Art Project will be on the National Mall until the end of the month, I think the 28th.
And so anyone can go.
Yeah, but then it's also online, heroartproject.org. I think if you go online, you can see some of these images and hear these stories too.
Wonderful. Aaron, thank you for bringing us that.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.